It's 25 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections. Hello and welcome to Election Brief with me, Emefa Akosia Adeti. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Potential Real Estate, your trusted partner in real estate. Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozon's Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, Chobos Technologies, a convenient service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media platforms, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Please stay tuned. The Ghana Freedom Party faces yet another setback as the Electoral Commission disqualifies it from the 2024 presidential election. After the passing of the original flag bearer, the party was given a chance to name a replacement and submitted Philip Apiakubi. However, the Electoral Commission reported finding irregularities in their documentations, leading to a tough decision to disqualify the party from the upcoming race. My colleague Michael Ashale was there and now joins me in studio. Michael, thank you for joining me. Now, what's the main reason why the party's been disqualified? Well,
we know that the Electoral Commission explained that Philip Apiakubi, who was the replacement for the late Ekwia Donko, was mandated to submit his documentation. As part of the document, the law stipulates that you need 2 individuals from each district to endorse the candidate. What the EC tells us is that they discovered that some endorsements came from individuals outside of some designated districts. That due to these violations, they took the decision to remove them from the race. You know that in irregular times, what you have is the EC identifying errors, and the word is errors. They'll give you the opportunity to rectify them. However, they said that these were illegalities and therefore couldn't give them the opportunity to rectify. You can listen to the chair of the commission, of Jean Mensah, make this pronouncement.
Of the Ghana Freedom Party. He and the party went on to submit their nomination forms on the 5th of November, and our technical teams went to work immediately reviewing the nomination forms. At the end of the process, they detected a number of errors and some illegalities with the form. The candidate's attention was drawn to these errors, and the party was provided an opportunity to correct them. They did that. In the view of the commission, it was not in our bosom to provide the political party the opportunity to correct some of the illegalities that we found on the form. In that respect, the party did not draw their attention to it because the commission does not feel that it is in its bosom to allow any political party to correct illegalities with the form. The commission, therefore, as at yesterday, wrote to the party and to the candidate disqualifying him from contesting the 2024 presidential election.
Well, so the issue of whether or not there'll be balloting, does it still remain or not, Michael?
So what we know from the Electoral Commission is that at least 90% of the ballot had already been printed prior to the demise of the flag bearer of GFP. They ordered that their printing houses should halt the printing of the ballots. Their expectation there was going to be a replacement. So if this had gone through, then they would have taken the hard decision to do the printing all over again. However, because of what has happened, the disqualification of the party, they have taken the decision to go ahead with that. So they'll just print the additional 10%. They've informed the parties that nothing will change. 13 candidates will remain on the original ballot that was done. You have Ekwia Donko and her party's flag on the ballot paper. However, all votes that go to that particular party, which they don't want anybody to, they said they're going to mount a campaign against that, all those votes will be counted as rejected ballots. You can listen to her make that clarification.
This morning, we are here to inform you of the Commission's decision to maintain the presidential ballot as it is. As you may be aware, and I believe all of you have representatives in the printing houses, we are almost 90% complete with the printing of presidential ballots. And you are also aware that following the passing of Madam Ekwe-Adonko, we requested the printing houses to cease printing until, the law had taken its course. Now that the presidential candidate or the nominee has been disqualified, the commission would like to inform you that the printing would proceed on the current ballot as is, in the interest of time and to save this country millions of cedis. And so our task here this morning is very simple. We are not here to change positions. We are not here to reballot. We are simply here to inform you that the commission intends to notify our printing houses to proceed with the presidential ballot as is. It will proceed with the ballot that bears the name and the image of the name of the Ghana Freedom Party, their symbol, and the image of Madam Ekwe-Adonko. And we believe that a lot of discussions and advertisements will go out to prevent the citizenry from voting for her.
Well, so with all of this happening, we're quite curious, was the GFP represented? And if they were, who represented them? Also,
the GFP was represented, and they were represented by the organizer, national organizer of the party. I mean, what we know originally is that there were two communications to the Electoral Commissioner. One from the General Secretary informing the Commission that they were going to, in a few hours, going to inform them about their new candidate, who was going to be Philip Appiah-Kubi. However, there was another one from the national organizer who said that the party was withdrawing from the race. It was that national organizer that represented the party. I spoke to him after this meeting. He says that, well, as a party, they are happy. Or from him, it's a welcoming news from the Electoral Commission to disqualify them. The focus now is going to be on the burial and hopefully to rebuild the party after the funeral. Okay, let's even stay on the fact that the political parties that were present, there have been concerns of if they didn't have to go by this rule that they were going to maintain Madam Ekwe-Adonko's photo, then there was possible reballoting and rearrangement. How was their reaction, the political parties? So some of the political parties, at least we heard from the NDC, GCPP and the likes, who mentioned that, well, it's welcoming news. The NDC, for instance, represented by Rashid Tanko, tells us that this has been the norm, an event that a party pulls out just days before the election. They allow the status quo to remain so that it doesn't disturb the finances of the Electoral Commission and disturb some of them their campaign. You know that the NDC, for instance, is number 8. So if that changed, possibly the position of the NDC would have also changed, and that would have been a lot more finance and all of that. So they welcome the news as it stands now. Well, let's listen to the NDC.
According to their statement, some polling stations do not exist again due to one or two reasons. And because of that, they realigned them to other polling stations. And so we want to know those polling stations which has been cancelled, which has been realigned to other polling stations, so that we can amend our records. Because we are going forward for an election, and then for the first time we are hearing that there are certain polling stations which doesn't exist again. And their figures amounted to about 884. So we need to know those polling stations which have been cancelled. So these are our issues. And then we also requested for the regional breakdown. I mean, what they gave was just a national summaries. We need to know the regional breakdowns and all that. We will follow it through. We've taken notice of it, especially the issue about the polling stations which do not exist again. I mean, this is the first time they are announcing it, and I'm sure you, the media, have taken notice of that. This is the first time. I mean, so if we hadn't asked, all these things wouldn't have been up. We would have been going to elections knowing certain polling stations exist, only to go there and then voting will not take place in those areas, and figures have been aligned to other places.
Mr. Tanko, so have you now taken your final voters register?
Yes, I've requested, they say I should wait for it, they are bringing it.
But are you satisfied? And almost days ago, just last week Wednesday, when you came here for the final voters register, you asked for some documentation. It's taking close to 5 days to get you that document. Are you satisfied now with the breakdown that they've given you?
Well, we have taken notice of it. We've studied it. We've made relevant requests again on the list that they have provided. You will see that they've talked of some 884 missing absentees, and due to non-existence of certain polling stations. I mean, this is a revelation they have made in their letter. So we want to get information on that.
Well, just gone by is Rashid Tanko also explaining about the summaries of the register that they've been asking for, which they rejected. But Michael, finally, please give me details of what exactly he said.
So what we know is that last week the NDC rejected the voter register, the final voter register put up by the Electoral Commissioner. Their concern was that they didn't have the summaries of the final voters register. What they wanted was the breakdown of the statistics. At the time, the Electoral Commission says they were going to generate it for them. It took almost 6 hours for them to later come and tell them that they needed more time to actually work with it. The promise was they were going to give them the regional breakdown as well. But today, what they have gotten is the national breakdown. It doesn't give them all the details to the regional breakdown. What you heard Tanku there say is that they are satisfied for now. However, they will go and peruse the statistics and the final voter register, which now they have accepted to take, and then will come out subsequently with their details and their findings.
Many thanks, Michael Ashali. Now, moving away from that story. So you've just seen the Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, Dr. Edward Omani-Boamah, is also accusing the NPP of attempting to rig the next general elections through the special voting exercise scheduled for December 2nd. Addressing party supporters at Akroso in the Eastern region, Dr. Omani-Boamah urged the party to parties to closely monitor the processes from voting, counting, collation and declaration to avert what he says are the NPP's plan to manipulate the figures.
With eagle eyes. Eagle eyes. Fashion Osono, if you say Osono, I am not doing say Abana Yaba to obey. Now, I feel Corona, Omaya son, the Bono. Omaya say, second December. This is 2nd December, and a special vote in special vote, you know, security agents, journalists, and EC officials. I will not bet you as soon as I say, Sadano, Omerium, and Mutia I also have no constituency. Send your Maka, baby, Mapono. No, find the 2nd December, no, and not a special vote in there. It will be a year. That is one. Security for no. All my react also said, I buy higher by the tree. I won't pay Emma or so many day. And I was saying, no more a couple. Now yet the 2 years are Corona or soon a person a day or 4 on 2nd December.
Now, assuring supporters of their preparedness to protect their votes, the former communications minister said the party will finish collating of its latest 75% of the presidential results by 11 p.m. on December 7.
NDC election directory there, with the support of President Mahama and Chairman Asedun Ketia, be rest assured. Latest by 11 p.m. minimum 75% of the result would have been collated. Minimum 75% of the results would have been collated. And so we are sending a clear signal, as we did in Asen North, when we collated the results and published it. We are still waiting for the MPP to publish their Asen North results. We are still waiting for the MPP to publish their Asen North results. We at the NDC Election Directorate, by 11 p.m. on December 7, minimum 75% of our results would have been collated. And be rest assured that we shall defend each and every one of you the vote that you will cast. None of them will go astray. Vote massively for John Mahama as president, to reset the economy, to reset our country. Vote massively for Teddy to represent you in Parliament.
Now, still on the NDC presidential candidate John Mahama says a future NDC government will rename the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to the Ministry of Agriculture and Agribusiness. He says value addition to agricultural products is one of the NDC's key priorities, as it aims to support farmers not just through increased production, but by creating more job opportunities within the agricultural value chain. Speaking during an interaction with the clergy at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, he said this could mark the beginning of a major shift for Ghana's agriculture sector, positioning the country to take advantage of the economic benefits that value-added agricultural products can provide. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
The Son of God is coming again, and the people say, Hallelujah. Come on and say.
Gospel musician Jack Alonome leading a singing session at the event. The Great Hall of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology was filled with members of the clergy. Speaking at the event, founder of the Ebenezer Miracle Worship Center, Ebenezer Dakwa Yadom, reiterated his prophecy predicting a win for John Mahama.
Last year, 30th
He said, God has used me to prophesy. Last year, on the 30th of July 2023, nothing can change it. By the grace of God, John Mahama is going to be president again. God told me, and I said it. No evil forces can change it. In his speech, John Mahama called for an all-hands-on-deck approach to fight illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey.
And now, the assassin say, if you say galamsey, say, I feel the Ajibibiara. Titru, near Omuchucha, Yaquire Egu, say, Omochuche gold.
He said, our land and water bodies are being destroyed, especially through the destruction of our forest for gold. All our water bodies come from the forest. If we continue down this path, our water bodies will dry up. If we are elected, we will ensure that all illegal mining in our forests stops. Those who wash gold in our water bodies must also cease the activities so we can practice responsible mining.
Gold ewo ensumo so almost LCHN na yebreano na ye friend responsible mining.
John Mahama says specialized courts will be set up to ensure persons indicted in the Auditor General's report are prosecuted expeditiously.
And it's in the billions of cedis, billions. Na Public Accounts Committee Yomo Juma. Na I was a report a ministry no. Na ministry no take action on recommendation a Public Accounts Committee ayano.
When the Public Accounts Committee completes its work, the report is supposed to be sent to the relevant ministry for action on the recommendations. However, we need to change this arrangement because often the ministry where the money was embezzled is the same one that received the report, and action is rarely taken. If we are elected, we want the Chief Justice to establish special courts specifically for Auditor General's reports. This way, if an Auditor General's report finds that someone has embezzled state funds, they will be taken to a special court and the case will be dealt with expeditiously. Without this, the theft of state money will continue because there are no real consequences for those who are not punished.
Na asotwe bia e wose e mawo no ye de mawo ya nya ne sa e be koso because enipa wia aban sika ahwe nya no.
John Mahama further stated that a future NDC government will implement measures to end the long-standing Boko conflict. He says a future NDC government will rename the Agric Ministry to reflect its new focus of adding value to agric products.
And so obia enwe marketing side and agribusiness. Oko bibia agrica peja se ekweni no
We have not fully considered the marketing side and agribusiness. In countries where agriculture has developed, after the farmer harvests, there's usually someone on standby to process and add value to what has been harvested. If it is maize, they'll produce corn flour. If it is tomatoes, they'll produce tomato paste and other products. If it is cassava, they'll produce various products from it. And if it is mango, they'll produce fruit juice. That is why I say if we are elected, we will change the name of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to the Ministry of Agriculture and Agribusiness, he said.
To Ministry of Agriculture and Agribusiness.
Moving away from the NDC, now let's bring you some stories on the NPP. Presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has accused the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, of campaigning on propaganda in the Bosomchi constituency. Instead of presenting what he describes as a credible alternative to the NPP's development agenda, Dr. Bawumia made the accusation while addressing a rally in the Bosomchi constituency, where he pledged to construct deplorable roads in the Ashanti region if elected president. The NPP flag bearer, who is on a tour of the Ashanti region, told the crowd that the NDC's campaign in the constituency is based on lies and misinformation, and that the NDC had no credible plan to develop the area. More in this report.
It's day 7 out of the 15-day tour here in the Ashanti region for the New Patriotic Party's presidential candidate, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. The vice president on day 7 has been touring 4 constituencies. He started the tour from the Bekwai constituency. He went all the way to the Bosomchi constituency, the Asokwa constituency, and the Etuso constituency.
We need peace in the upcoming election. Do not cause mayhem when you go to the polls. We have to make sure that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is elected President of the Republic by close of December 7.
The incoming Member of Parliament, Lawyer Ralph Aduse.
Mr. Ramo, Yasenia Wawa Canada was Lodiang.
I am pleading with you to help make Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia President of the Republic of Ghana.
In the Bosomchi constituency, the vice president, during his engagement or rally with party faithful, says that the NDC has been peddling falsehood, claiming that the party, which is a New Patriotic Party, has not neglected the Ashanti region. The vice president says that the NDC is accusing the NPP of not developing the Ashanti region, something that he says is untrue.
Akwanya omo kasansui omo na omo shase omo ya kwanya mo maamo ye MPP ye na yaba na yebe ye kwanya yesu na yebe wie e kwanya amamo yebe wie.
The NDC continues to peddle falsehood in the Ashanti region. Did they construct our roads for us? Did they construct the roads in the Bosomchi constituency for you? They didn't. We, the NPP, started it, and we are going to complete all these projects.
Day 7 is completed, and it ended here in the Ejuso constituency. Day 8, the vice president is expected to move to a Krofom constituency, Obuasi East, Obuasi West, and the Obuasi constituency itself, where he will be having a stakeholders meeting and engaging with party faithfuls. For Joy News, my name is Nana Boachitampo Yado.
Monfastiano, Mami, Monfastiano, Mami, Monfastiano, Mami, Asokwa Adistiano, Amami, Bedamwase, Nyamishiramo.
Still on the NPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has promised to revolutionize Ghana's railway system in the bold move to transform Ghana's transport infrastructure if elected president. The vice president outlined his ambitious plan to construct new rail links connecting several communities across the country, describing the project as a legacy initiative in his administration. Speaking at a rally in the Ejisu constituency, Dr. Bawumia indicated that the proposed railway expansion will be designed to stimulate economic growth and improve transportation efficiency.
One of the key things I made as president, as the legacy of a railway system. Yeah, the rail no every Accra Tema to Kumasi all the way to Paga. That is the central line, from Accra to Paga. Yet from Kumasi to Takoradi. Then we are taking it from Ejisu to Eduade. And then we are taking it from Awaso through Nyinahene to Eduade. Sa rail noa yadi bano. Edi Ejuma bebre ebebre yememuno. Ejuma bebre na yadi ba. We are going to use local materials. The railway is transformational. Yebe chenji niema bebre. Now moving
away from the NPP, head of training at the Electoral Commission, Dr. Srebo Kweku, says the potential impact of disinformation and misinformation in the upcoming election is concerning. He explained that both social and mainstream media often circulate unverified information, which could pose a significant threat to the electoral process. Speaking on the sidelines of a workshop organized by Pen Plus Byte, addressed the dangers of disinformation. Dr. Kweku urged the mainstream media outlets to exercise caution and refrain from amplifying unverified information on social media.
And I said that my greatest fear for 2024 is misinformation, because both the traditional and the social media at times are in a hurry to put forward information without checking the authentication of it. So I'm saying that I am seeing ahead of us where people were coming out with some audios or videos that may even not be related to Ghana's election. But we have had instances where there was a video and they attributed to the district level election. I don't know whether you watched that. And the person was in green jacket. When everybody knew that in Ghana we don't use green jacket. So my advice to the media houses here is that they need to be very careful and cross-check every information they will get.
Many thanks for joining us today on Election Brief. My name is Emefa Akosia Adeti. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Bye-bye.